You are on the front line of pre-disease in your community. Every day in your practice, you have the opportunity to make a difference.
So it behooves us, it's to our advantage, to detect disease at a much earlier stage.
Unlike the Western counterparts, an Asian Indian does not live in prediabetes for a decade. They live in prediabetes for maybe just 1, 2 or 3 years. That is because we not only have insulin resistance, but our beta cells are also impacted very early. Our beta cells undergo a lot of stress.
Our therapeutic goal is to embolden nature and preserve form and function for the pancreas. It's too early for young India to lose beta cell function. Can we take the first step in preserving the pancreas?
And prediabetes is a window of opportunity because one has the opportunity to intervene and prevent diabetes or even produce a regression to normal glycemia.
Today, we have a new class of medicine, functional foods.
In 2003, American Association of Clinical Endocrinologists published a guideline on the use of dietary supplements and nutraceuticals. I was fortunate to chair that particular task force. When examining dietary supplements, there could be an advantage of using dietary supplements that present a portfolio of bioactive compounds rather than a single bioactive compound. And when considering this in the context of diabetes, it would be nice to be able to ding different parts of that network for glycemic control that have a salutary or beneficial effect on beta cell function, on insulin sensitivity, on metabolism, gluconeogenesis, glycogenolysis, etc.
So we know how has modern medicine evolved, particularly in the disease of diabetes. The first line drug which we use today in diabetes is metformin. So what was metformin? Ultimately metformin was a plant-based extract. And then they made a synthetic compound. And from that synthetic compound today we have the guanidine alkaloids. And then we evolved metformin. Similarly, we are now looking at botanical or plant-derived extracts. Can they intervene a pre-disease state like diabetes? Let us classically take an example. I'm sure I've heard of ivy gourd fruit extract. It has a lot of saponins, different type of saponins. What are these saponins? These are natural inhibitors of glucose 6-phosphatase. This is an enzyme responsible for gluconeogenesis, glycogenolysis. We know we all crave for sugars. Can we curb that sugar craving? Can we curb that carbohydrate craving? Can we have glucose homologically similar molecules? So there is a Gemenia sylvestre leaf which has the gemenemic acid. It has a structural homology with glucose. These molecules fill different taste receptors. They block the taste buds and they have an anti-crave effect.
By identifying those nutrients, so for instance, as an example, the bioactive nutrient in cinnamon, or vanadium or chromium, they're all acting at insulin receptor substrate 1, which is a very proximate molecule in the cascade after activation or autophosphorylation of the insulin receptor.
But we need to improve insulin action at the receptor and post-receptor level. And for that, many of these micronutrients, for example, chromoin picolinate, biotin, have very positive impact. And then of course we know fiber. Fiber is an ingredient which is an integral part in modulation of both glucose and lipids. And we know the classical story of methi. Methi is nothing but fenugreek extracts. And we know that there is enough work done on insulin resistance and methi in experimental models. And can we package all of this in a proprietary compound?
So if we have a nutraceutical which is effective, which is safe, well tolerated, which has well accepted ingredients, and which has the backing of both evidence and experience, then certainly it is an intervention worth trying. And the earlier we do it, in pre-diabetes, before disease has struck, if we do this properly, we should be able to achieve a healthy glycemic legacy for the next few decades.
Even in the United States, where pharmaceuticals are used extensively, I've found PreCrea to be very effective in many of my patients.
This is exactly the kind of compound that we are looking for to use in the stage of pre-diabetes to see A, whether it can prevent the progression to diabetes, B, even better, if you're able to reverse these people with pre-diabetes to the normal glucose tolerant stage.
Patients respond much better to a food-based recommendation. So, in summary, there is a role for dietary supplements based on what your target is, and this is part of the thought process that the healthcare professional needs to consider, particularly in this emerging field of prevention on a population scale. Thank you.